but does it have a connection with what you're doing in your career? That is the first question you have to ask yourself. I see so many bad profile photos because you want to give them something that says, you want to check out my profile. It is the best networking playground for introverts. So what we are going to do right now, going through the whole profile. Hey you, and welcome back to a new episode of the Career Power Play podcast. I'm your host, Sylvana Mulder. And as you might see, I am not fully fit. I am feeling a little bit sick, actually. So I thought to myself, I have to record this episode like right now before I seriously get sick and I cannot move and I have no podcast episode. So it hasn't been that long since the former episode has gone live. There's not really much of a big update right now in terms of compared to last episode, but we're still in the moving madness, the moving stress, and the only change that we currently have is that I'm not really feeling well. And I have to say, of course, I had a super stressful period before and during the move. So right now I'm just like calming down again a little bit. And most of the time when I have a super stressful period and then after that it calms down, I'm starting to feel a little sick. So that's exactly what's happening right now. So I don't know if I have, if it's something like the flu or if it's just stress that's like coming out of my body. I have no clue right now, but I will keep you updated. I am trying to look in the camera, but I just have to say this, if like my eyes look small or anything like that, it is because we just moved and everything is still a mess. I don't have my desk where I want it to be because I don't want it to be here. It should be like against a wall in another room, but that room isn't really ready for my desk just yet. So right now it's like in front of a window, which has a beautiful view, but there is so much sunlight coming inside. So when I try to look in the camera and sometimes my eyes like going because I just have to focus so much on the camera and the lighting and everything that my eyes cannot really handle direct sunlight. So if my eyes look really small or if it looks like I don't know, I look that serious, or it's because of the light. So like I mentioned, I'm recording way in advance. My previous episode just went live actually because I just feel like I'm starting to get a little sick. And just to prevent the situation where I actually am sick and I cannot record the podcast or any other content, I am doing this right now. So but the good news is that I'm still very much in love with my apartment. It has these stained glass windows that I truly love. Those have been like a part of my dream home, dream picture of dream home ever since I can remember. And whenever the sun is shining, which it is right now, which you can see at my eyes, that's why they're small. And that is like a lot right now since we are in August. It is the middle of summer. But you get these like beautiful pictures on the floors, on the walls. And I just love that. Every time you see like those reflections on the floors or on the walls, it just gives me like that happy feeling, when you get when something is beautiful or amazing. I just get that happy feeling whenever I see it. So I love that. I took some photos. I will definitely share those on Instagram. Cannot really say when I will do that, but I will make sure to schedule like really ahead for my social media, my podcast and everything, so that my health doesn't get in the way of posting that. In the last episode, we were talking about personal branding and networking and how that will make a huge difference to your career if you start doing that. And today I want to talk about pretty much the next step after you have gotten clear on your personal brand. The next step for that is LinkedIn. And that is where you start the networking. So that's really, then it's like more an in-between step. But LinkedIn is so important, you guys, so important. So that's what we will be discussing today. LinkedIn, I love it. It's one of my favorite platforms, but hey, I am a recruiter. You cannot blame me. So welcome to the Career Power Play podcast, the career podcast where I share no fluff, no BS, but real tangible career advice. Let's dive in.
Dare to dream, take action, don't have fear, become the best version of you. Let's create your dream career.
So before we dive in, I want to share with you that I've created an amazing PDF called LinkedIn Profile Audit Checklist, where I just go through the most important sections on your LinkedIn profile and how to give them a major upgrade and make your LinkedIn profile a magnet for recruiters. You can get it through the link in the show notes. All right, so a little backstory about how LinkedIn changed the game for me first, and after that for pretty much all of my clients. So for me, it changed the game when I actually started in recruitment about a decade ago. I just made some changes on my LinkedIn and immediately saw like a shift in visitors, in messages, in connection requests, in all of that. But that was at the beginning of my recruitment career. So that was when I was as green as grass. I didn't know a thing yet. But of course, when we talk about my clients, I gave them like everything I knew, everything I know about LinkedIn and what really shifts the needle to make people want to come and visit your LinkedIn, your profile, and eventually also reaching out and sending you messages. So for every single one of my clients, it made a super major shift. And it is just crazy how much of a shift it just made for them. There was actually let me think. Yeah, with all of my clients, there was not really much happening on LinkedIn before they came to me. And that's also the reason why they came to me, not specifically for LinkedIn, but for the bigger picture. But LinkedIn was a big part of that. And after we made the changes that I'm about to tell you, and also the changes that I have put in my PDF that you can download, it just changed the game for them. Seriously changed the game for them. With one of my clients, she already saw messages coming in while she was changing her LinkedIn, which is amazing. With another client of mine, he made the changes on his LinkedIn and he, like, in a few days, his profile visits went up to 200% of the usual profile visits that he had. Another client of mine got messages from recruiters and she's actually working there right now. And it has been the best career decision of her life, her words. So there is so much possible. So why do more with LinkedIn that you're currently doing? One of the first lessons you learn as a recruiter is never assume, because it is deadly. But I am here cautiously assuming that you know what LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is an amazing professional platform that you can utilize for your career. It's definitely not as what most people use it for, to just upload their resume on their LinkedIn profile and that will be that. That's not what you want to use it for. But it is a professional profile of your career, who you are in your career, and it can be reached by everyone that has LinkedIn. So why do you need LinkedIn? Like I mentioned, everybody that has LinkedIn can find your profile. And I can tell you right now that no, I have to say 100% of all of the recruiters, because if you are a recruiter and you don't have LinkedIn, then you're not doing, I don't know what you're doing, but you're not doing your job well. So 100% of all the recruiters all over the world, they have LinkedIn. That should be reason enough for you to have a LinkedIn profile and to use it for getting career opportunities. But what most people use it for is to just put their resume on there and just look at the jobs that are being posted on LinkedIn, and that is it. So you're missing out on so many amazing things, because LinkedIn is more than just your profile where you have your resume, like your work experience, your education, and the jobs that are being promoted on LinkedIn. It is more than that. It is so much more than that, actually. It is your online business card. It's your networking playground. You can literally reach anybody on LinkedIn, and it is the very best thing for introverts. Let me just tell you that. Let me just tell you that. It is the best networking playground for introverts. Also for extroverts, but for introverts even more. Like the networking events, like the live networking events. But if you are an introvert, you get the chills by hearing that. And I got that. And the extroverts are like, wow, that's amazing. Where can I go? Where is it? And yeah, let me just put something on and hand it over. So the extroverts can just go to those events and, no stress. But the introverts don't really like the idea of going to an event where everybody's just staring at them and you don't know anybody and you have no idea what to say, and you are creating a script inside your mind when you're at home, and that whole script never happens. It never happens. So, yeah, that's just a scenario that we as the introverts, we don't want that. And how can you prevent those scenarios from happening and still do networking? Is through LinkedIn. It's an amazing platform. Amazing. So you're really missing out if you're not utilizing it for that. Before you head on over to your LinkedIn profile, I just want to reiterate again that you have to be clear on your personal brand. Oh, yeah, and there she goes again with her personal brand. It is true. Trust me, your personal brand is so important. And if you are going to, I seriously wonder that if you, without knowing your personal brand, without being clear on your personal brand, and you are going to change things on your LinkedIn, I just don't really know what you're going to change, because if you don't know your personal brand, then what are you going to say about yourself? And I probably know what you will say about yourself, and those are the things that we don't want. So first step number 1 is get clear on your personal brand. Seriously. So you want to, I'm not going in depth again about your personal brand in this episode, because this episode is all about LinkedIn. I've done a previous episode about your personal brand, how you can find it, how you can get clear on it, what questions you have to ask yourself, and how to eventually get like your personal brand statement, your everything that's about your personal brand. You will learn it in that episode. So what we are going to do right now is going through the whole profile. I am just putting my mic on my desk. Please don't fall. And I am going to open LinkedIn profile. And we are starting at the top. So first things first, the very first thing people see when they arrive on your LinkedIn profile is your banner. I still see, I think maybe 80 to 85% of all the LinkedIn profiles I see don't have a banner, and you are truly missing out. Because if you don't have a banner, then nothing happens when somebody visits your profile, and they don't get, like, their eyes are not drawn to the banner because it's not there. A lot of the ones that have a banner are really missing out on mentioning specific things on their banner. So what I see a lot in banners is like a beautiful photo of a tulips field in the Netherlands. I see pictures of people's pets. I see a beautiful picture of the city that they live in. I see pictures of people's hobbies, people's children. And I get that those are important things to you, but it doesn't say anything about your career. And that is what LinkedIn is. People don't come to your LinkedIn profile to see how your children look like or what do you like to do in the weekends. No, they want to see your career and what you are doing career wise. So what you want in your banner is you can definitely have a picture of the tulips field, but does it have a connection with what you're doing in your career? That is the first question you have to ask yourself. And then it is important to put text on there to show them anything. It can be anything. It can be your personal brand statement. It can be how you help people. It can be an amazing achievement that you have, that you reached in your career. It can be anything. But it has to be something that tells a visitor what you're doing in your career. So very important. Then your profile photo. I see so many bad profile photos. I see people at parties. I see animations. I see animations. What else did I see? I saw a photo of someone making a silly face. This is not Facebook, you guys. Stop it. It is a professional platform. You don't have to be like uptight and be in a suit or anything like that. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to show who you are at work. And the most important thing about a profile photo is that you look in the camera and that you smile. Give them your biggest smile. That works the best because if you look at the camera and you give it your biggest smile, that is the most inviting. And that is a reason why people click on your profile. And you have to think about, if you are in a room of people, you are looking like bored or angry or, I don't know, making a silly face. There is not anybody that comes up to you and say, hey, how are you doing? My name is... No. If you are in that same room and if you look at someone in their eyes and you give them the biggest smile, it is an invitation to say hello. In terms of your LinkedIn profile is to visit your profile. And that is what you want, because if they don't visit your profile, nothing happens. So the first step you want people to take is to click on your profile to visit your profile. Then let's discuss the tagline, because for those of you that don't know, the tagline is the line of text underneath your name. What I still see, and I know exactly the reason behind it, but what I still see so much is role name at company. And I'm telling you right now why so many people have that and why they started doing that in the first place. It's because when you create a LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn automatically puts your role name at profile in your tagline. It automatically does that. But it doesn't do anything for people that see your tagline. Because number one, role name at company, they can also see that in your work experience. So it doesn't give them like any additional information that you want to actually give them, because you want to give them something that says, you want to check out my profile. You want to send me a connection request. You want to send me a message. You want to start getting to know me. That is what your tagline has to show other people. So stop doing the role name at company and really show them, how can you help? What do you do? Add some keywords in there. Keywords. And that is, fun fact, that is the role name that you are pursuing. So what you want other people to find you on. But it doesn't mean that you have to keep the role name at company. You can add it along the line that is your role name, but don't put it in the front, because the first piece of your tagline is what people see when you like a post, what they see in the feed. If you like a post, if you comment on a post, if you repost, I don't know if you see that actually when you repost something. But people see it in their feed when you like a post, comment on a post. They see it, the first piece. They see the first piece. They don't see the whole thing. You want to make sure that the most important information is in the first piece. And you can add multiple things. You don't just have to add one thing. So what you can do, for example, if you have chosen to put your personal brand statement in your banner, then don't put that also in your tagline. But then you can put in your tagline how you help. So what is something amazing that you have done in your career, and that how you help other companies, your employers moving up, and it can be anything. It's really dependable on the role that you're in, on the experience that you have, the industry that you're in. It depends on so many things, but add that in your tagline, and that is the first thing that they will see. You're listening to this thinking, hey, I really want to learn more about personal branding and networking. Then I have some amazing news, because I'm launching my online course, Power Play, Brand Bold, and Network to Win, pretty soon, where I'm teaching you all about how to get clear with your personal brand, use it, how to network, and all this even for the introverts. Because yes, I am one too. Visit my website, fiercecareers.co. A link is also in the show notes. Leave your name and email, and you'll be the first to know as soon as we launch in September. Enrollment is only open for 1 week, so make sure that you don't miss it. Now that that's been said, let's get back to the episode. All right, moving on to your About section. What I see a lot in About sections is, or it's just empty, or they have like this huge paragraph with like where you just blurt out everything that you have so much experience and you're looking for a role in this, and that is not what people want to read. So you want to make it a story. Think about storytelling. You want to make it a story and use paragraphs for that, divide it into paragraphs. So it becomes more likely for someone to read it. And I can fill a full hour on talking about your About section, on how to actually write your About section. So I don't really have the time for that right now. So what you can do, I'm going more in depth in the PDF on your LinkedIn profile audit checklist on your About section. So make sure to just grab that. And also for examples, you can definitely check out my profile, because mine is exactly like I'm teaching others how it should be. And one additional thing that I want to say regarding the About section is that I am going to do some free classes again, and I am super excited about that. I am planning to do those in the week of September 22nd. In that class, I will make sure to really dive deep in the About section. I will show you examples from my previous clients to give you a better idea. I will also show you a lot of things. So also the banners, and not the profile photos because of privacy, but I will show you the banners, the taglines, the About sections, the whole thing. So you have a better idea on how to actually do that. So make sure to be there at my class. Then moving on, the featured. I actually only see this section at fellow entrepreneurs. I never see this section with people that work in corporate. I actually never see this section. And it is such a waste, because this section, you can put everything in there, like everything. So you can, if you have like an online portfolio, you can add that there, and your featured is like right below your About section. So it's not even the middle. It's like above the middle of your LinkedIn profile. And you can add so many things in there. Let me see, what option do they have? If you can add a post, if you've written a post that you're like really proud of, or where you share a lot of value, you can add that. You can add a newsletter, add an article, add a link for example, for your portfolio, add media, or add content from your profile. So what you can do with that is your recommendations, for example, they are way at the bottom. So someone has to like really scroll through your whole profile before they see your recommendations. If you want to highlight your recommendations to make it more to the top, add them in your featured, because that is like above the middle part of your section. So that is the features. Your activity, please make sure that you are doing more than just commenting congratulations on other people's posts. You know, make sure that it either shows your own posts or like really valuable comments that you've written under other people's posts. And it is important that you do something on LinkedIn, like responding to other people's posts, because if there's no recent activity, it seems like you are not active on LinkedIn. And what goes to a recruiter's mind is it even worth it reaching out? Do they still use this? Are they still like, would they even receive a message if I would send it? Would they even receive that message? Would they even read that message? So there is a very high chance that a recruiter would just click away instead of reaching out if you don't have any recent activity. And then, of course, your work experience. And in your work experience, you don't repeat the key message from like what your responsibilities are, because you know a recruiter that is looking for a certain role and they land on your profile because you have that role, they already know what your responsibilities are. So what you want to be doing there is show them your achievements and highlight those, and that is what they want to see. Your education, it's really dependable on how long ago you did your studies. So if it's like really recent, then you want to be really specific in what you did and what extra things do you have an honors? Did you write like a super relevant paper? Anything like that, you want to add it. If it is like a decade ago or something that you did your studies, then it's not that relevant, but you still want to mention that. In terms of your skills, that is also a section on your LinkedIn profile where you want to put your keywords. So think about, for the role name that you want to have or that you're currently having just for your next step, the role name that you want to receive messages about, let me put it that way, that's better. Make sure that everything that they put in a vacancy on the requirements, make sure that you have that in your skill section. Because if a recruiter is looking for one of those things and it is in your skills, you will probably reach the top search results. So that is why it's important. Also, your profile overview will only show the top 2 skills. So if you click it open, you can reorder and make sure that the most important 2 skills are at the top so that people see it without having to click on skills. After that, you have recommendations. Make sure that you constantly have some recent recommendations and not one of 5 years ago, because that's not really relevant anymore. It's still good to have it on there, but make sure that you also have some relevant ones. And then, of course, your languages. If you speak more languages, then I would definitely add that on there. And your interests. So that is the whole LinkedIn profile. And then we got to the link between using LinkedIn and start networking. So after you have given your LinkedIn profile that glow up, it's time to get started on networking. But networking is not what we talk about in this episode. Otherwise, it would be such a long episode. Just don't want to do that to your brain. So it's important to listen to one topic at a time. So something else that let me get the mic. I don't know. I hope you could like hear that properly, because I needed my both hands. So what I wanted to also talk to you about is 2 examples of clients of mine, previous clients of mine, that had some major results from adjusting their LinkedIn profile. Of course, started with their personal brand and then adjusted and upgraded their LinkedIn profile. One of them seriously changed the things. I believe she was halfway when she received her first LinkedIn message from a recruiter about a career opportunity. And this is like for real, you guys. You might not believe me, but you will see it for yourself as soon as you do those changes. And another previous client of mine, he changed his whole LinkedIn profile, and he saw like a few days after that his profile visits went up like 200%. And it is just amazing what these little tweaks can do to your LinkedIn. You can skyrocket your profile visit. You can skyrocket the amount of messages that you will get with amazing career opportunities. And it is just amazing. So if you're taking away anything from this episode, I want you to remember that having a great LinkedIn banner it can make all the difference in the world. So really get started with that LinkedIn banner. Your about section, so important. So make sure that it has everything in there that it needs. And if you need help with that, make sure to get my PDF for your LinkedIn profile audit checklist with the link in the show notes. And also make sure to be at my free live class that I am teaching in September. And the last one is just your tagline. It can also make all the difference in the world what you put in there. And your photo, by the way, your photo. Get your photo right. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching / listening on whatever platform you are listening / watching. Make sure to follow or subscribe to the podcast. And don't forget to get your LinkedIn profile audit checklist with the link through the link in the show notes. Have a great one, and I see you next week. Bye.